Today, I am excited to talk with you about how you can move faster in your company's digital transformation by using conversational channels. Specifically, we'll focus on why it's more important than ever to accelerate your speed to bring new solutions to market, as well as how you can leverage conversational commerce and work with Yalo to do it. We will talk about the journey that amazing brands that Yalo works with have undergone in their own digital transformations through conversational commerce. They have worked with us and used our tools and expertise to engage, to market, and to provide service to their customers faster than they ever imagined. I am most excited to introduce you to Yalo Studio, our next step in helping enterprise brands accelerate their digital transformation through conversational commerce. Studio is Yalo's platform to build and customize the solutions businesses want to bring to their customers via chat and to run their business over chat. With Studio, our goal is to put years of Yalo expertise in designing, growing, and optimizing enterprise-quality conversational applications at your fingertips. We have all heard by now, repeated over and over again, that companies who win today are customer first and customer obsessed. But what does that really imply? It implies that you are first able to listen to your customers' needs and desires, and then, just as importantly, it implies that you have the agility to adapt to those needs and desires very quickly. That speed and that service is where technology companies thrive. They listen to customers, synthesize the data from those interactions or conversations, and react with the speed that is in their nature. This is the reason that technology companies like Netflix ultimately replace non-tech companies like Blockbuster. They can move fast, adapt, and deliver new solutions constantly to meet the demands of their customers. This speed is enabled by the software powering technology companies. Writing code to reach millions of users with a new category of movies is a lot faster than shipping thousands of VHS tapes to stores. There are companies who, unlike Blockbuster, have been able to adapt and even thrive in a digital environment. For example, Lego was a century-old company that prior to 2004 was nearing bankruptcy due to its inability to adapt to new digital trends. Management decided to pivot and turn to mobile games, phone apps, and an online community of Lego builders that has completely transformed the company. To survive, brands must become technology companies, engage in customer conversation, and learn to move fast to meet the needs and the desires of customers. The COVID-19 pandemic has only made digital transformation, and therefore the need to become a tech company, more critical and more urgent for companies to execute quickly in order to survive. This shift has already led to incredible business innovation from some of the largest companies in the world. Disney, for instance, recognized a permanent shift in consumer content consumption and was able to dramatically shift its business model to streaming through Disney+. It has even released big-budget movies through its streaming service. Restaurants, even luxury restaurants, started offering free curbside pickup and take-home meal kits and set up ghost kitchens for deliveries instead of dining rooms. These innovations have permanently transformed their businesses. When it comes to major behavioral shifts that have transformational impact, like the one that occurred during the pandemic, we can think of them in terms of a 2x2 framework. Whether they are likely to be short or long-term shifts, and whether they existed before the pandemic or are new since they began. If you consider, as an example, the shift to stay-at-home behavior that impacted retail shopping, you might use this framework to ask, will that shift away from stores to other channels be temporary, or will it be a structural change with permanence? And you can begin to understand what type of business challenges and opportunities come with that shift. Conversational commerce, it could easily be argued, is a catalyst. The pandemic amplified and accelerated an existing trend rather than creating a new one. Just like streaming services, people were already talking to businesses to buy products or get promotions on WhatsApp before the lockdowns. While people may and likely will go back to stores the same way that they will go back to movie theaters, the acceleration of conversational commerce and interacting via chat will have a lasting, long-term impact on how consumers shop. The normalization and incorporation of this trend in people's everyday lives, combined with the positive ROI results it produces for companies, means that this shift will be structural, not temporary, and accelerated by the pandemic. Companies like Disney, Lego, and other major brands and services should prepare to shape their digital commerce strategies to this new normal for their customers faster than they ever anticipated. More than the new normal, messaging apps in mobile-first markets like Mexico, Brazil, India, and other emerging markets are synonymous with the internet. In these markets, consumers access the internet through cell phones, most of which are medium to low range and have limited and expensive data. More than 80% of consumer time spent on their phone is spent in messaging apps, not on web pages or individual brand apps. And that is where brands need to go to talk to and sell to their customers. Overwhelmingly, in Latin America and South Asia, this time is spent on WhatsApp. However, not all brands have been able to successfully make this transition. Some have been able to adapt better than others to the closure of brick-and-mortar stores for the millions of customers who now normalize shopping on messaging apps from their homes, and will continue to do it once the pandemic comes to an end. One company that was able to adapt to this behavioral shift with enormous success and speed was Sears. Like many other enterprises, the challenge that they faced in creating a unified digital communication channel for their customers was not new when the pandemic struck. However, when like many retailers, Sears had to close their stores, their online shoppers spiked, and this need became more urgent. This was true for Sears in particular because many of their sales relied on a talented sales force that assisted their customers. And as a result of the lockdowns, their sales force was no longer able to guide Sears customers through the purchases in store. Sears partnered with Yalo to build out a virtual assistant, Sarah, that understood and unified communication to different types of customers. It also successfully implemented Yalo's unified assisted sales capabilities. While Sarah handled 75% of inbound requests from customers at home, Sears' sales force was able to focus on higher value sales conversations from the safety of their own houses using Yalo's conversational platform. This experience took days, not months, to be built, thanks to the conversational paradigm and the Yalo platform. The conversational commerce strategy Sears built with Yalo lived up to the promise of greater efficiency and greater sales through conversational commerce among mobile-first consumers. Not only did Sears increase their sales force's productivity by 4x, but they also experienced 4x greater conversion rates from conversations than they did on their own e-commerce site. This speed of change is only possible when you're using software. It is easier and faster to change code than it is to, say, rebuild or restructure a store. Conversational commerce only accelerates that even more. It is far easier to change the experience in WhatsApp and then give access to all customers immediately than it is to go through the motions of rebuilding and reapproving a mobile app. In one example of this, a major LATAM airline worked with Yalo at the beginning of the pandemic to build a conversational flow to help clients rebook their flights and redirect traffic to their mobile messaging channel in just about a single business day. In another example, Yalo worked with the government to set up a conversational COVID diagnostic test in just 2 days. Traditionally, building an app to do similar things in either case would be the work of months. With conversational paradigm and Yalo's platform, this is now being reduced to a matter of days and hours. At Yalo, our vision is to bring conversational commerce to the world. For all major brands in mobile-first markets, we believe conversational commerce not only can, but is critical to speed up digital transformation. These markets have hundreds and millions of consumers communicating with each other, and increasingly also with businesses on messaging apps. This behavior has only accelerated in the last year, making offering your services inside the messaging apps and rapidly improving critical to business success. In these markets especially, conversational experiences allow you to rapidly bring value to your users and therefore get higher ROI than other digital channels. To realize conversational commerce's true potential, it is important to recognize that it is a new paradigm of interaction. Like any new paradigm, you need to take advantage of its strengths and know its weaknesses to drive business results. What we have seen in the market is a lot of attempts from companies to do what they have done in previous paradigms. With e-commerce, for an example, businesses try to put their physical storefront on a website. For apps, businesses then try to cram their website into an app. This is not a new phenomenon. In the early days of television, for instance, shows were often productions first written and performed for stage theater. For all of these channels, it took time and expertise built over that time to understand the unique benefits and realize the true potential of this paradigm to drive consumer engagement, loyalty, and sales. Now, let me tell you more about how we can help to help you achieve this type of accelerated digital transformation. For messaging apps, we see two things happening that affect the customers. The first is that companies are using messaging too little, only to do customer service or blast messages. They leave their customers wanting more and disappointed when they write back and expect deeper interactions on chat like they would get with friends. Second is that companies are approaching messaging in a way that is too shallow. Companies that redirect to their websites or cram their apps in the conversational channel lose a lot of engagement as users are not able to leverage the back and forth and long-lived nature of the conversational paradigm. Just as before, to get best business results require us to think about it as a new paradigm and build natively for this paradigm. Extracting the most value from conversational commerce requires a paradigm shift. Messaging apps have their own unique user experiences and best practices. At Yalo, we have taken the time to understand both our customers as well as this paradigm shift for messaging apps and to methodically build our own internal technology tailored to build and deliver the best business results through delightful experiences. Today, Yalo has gone on an incredible journey in helping the largest companies in the world build conversational experiences that help them delight their users, automate a big portion of their customer service, and increase their sales. We have tried and tested for many years what is needed to make conversational channels drive business results, and we built technology specifically for this. Our next step, and what I am excited to announce today, is the release of Yalo Studio to our customers and partners. Yalo Studio is our visual platform to build conversational applications and experiences for our customers to chat with their consumers. The main reason we have been able to grow as a company fast while providing deep and personalized conversational experiences was because of Studio. We built Yalo Studio to enable our internal teams to create some of the world's most powerful conversational experiences, and now we are putting it in your hands so that you can do the same at lightning speed. We have spent several years using and improving this tool internally to guarantee that we could move fast to deliver value in the conversational commerce experiences we gave to customers. With Studio, you're getting our years of experience and expertise designing, growing, and optimizing conversational sales for enterprise brands right at your fingertips. A visual, intuitive canvas makes it easy for your digital teams to view, measure, and grow your brand's conversational channel sales, as well as build new experiences in customer service, marketing, and other areas. Now, every department in your company can also be more customer-centric and bring their services where their users already are, messaging apps. Templates, predefined functions, and easily modified code all work together to support the personalization, customization, and extensibility required of the world's largest brands. Next, I will walk you through how we thought about how to build out this platform. The focus over the past year for us has been to bring maximal flexibility to Studio. We are purpose-building a platform that manages the complexity, the demanding extensibility, and also the necessary usability required of big brands and enterprise businesses. There are two types of users Studio has been built for. The first is a non-technical user. We know that a lot of companies don't want to get in the huge backlog of a tech team to make quick and constant improvements for their users. So we made it easy for the non-technical folks to make changes in a visual and intuitive way. 90% of the experiences we deliver at Yalo are done by non-developers using Studio. The second type is a technical user, developers and engineering teams like we have at Yalo. To do this, we build a conversational tool that allows developers to build and extend with no limits. For both these users, the technical ones and the non-technical ones, our goal is to make a platform that makes the easy things easy and the difficult things possible. In the near term, we will grow and evolve Studio to include easier and better analytics, pre-made templates with the best experiences for you to click and launch more integrations to other critical applications, and an increasingly intuitive UI. As we make more and more of Yalo's platform customer-facing, we remain committed to making it into the most powerful, specialized conversational commerce builder in the market. To give you a sense of what Studio looks like today, our Studio Group product manager, Christian Saravia, will take you inside this tool and give you a brief demonstration.
Thank you, Rohin. So now let's go into our demo of Yalo Studio. What we're going to do today is build a few examples to show you what's possible in this tool. Ultimately, our goal is to empower anyone to build amazing experiences that run on chat. And this tool is meant to empower anybody, people not technical and people technical, to build any type of experience. So let's jump in. So what you're seeing here is the visual canvas where we're going to be building all of our experiences that run on chat. So I'll build a few examples to show you what's possible on Studio. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a first step called welcome, and I'm going to give you a welcome message or send the user a welcome message. So I'm going to say hi, personalize it with one of the predefined variables such as profile name, which is profile name in WhatsApp of the user. I'm going to say hi, profile name, welcome to Yalo Studios demo. Cool. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to connect this start step to the welcome message. So this is when the user writes for the first time, the user enters to start, and then I'm going to take the user to welcome, and I'm going to send this message. So let's try that out first. So I'm going to publish that workflow, say send hi, and I'm going to get hi Christian, welcome to Yalo Studios demo. Awesome. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an example. So say I am the builder for a store, and I want to show today's promotion. So I'm going to add a menu step, and I'm going to ask the user, what do you want to do today? And I'm going to add the first option as being that of a promotion. So check out today's promotion. All right. So if I'm going to send this message, I'm going to wait for the user to respond. And then I'm going to connect it to different steps. So I'll get back to this in a second. So the other step I want to do is today's promotion. And for now, I have this TV saved, or monitor rather. So I'm going to say today's promotion is a Samsung gaming monitor for 30% off. Okay. So I'm going to send the message, and then I'm going to add a media file with this URL. And I'm say gaming monitor. So let me save that, and I now need to connect the steps of my workflow. So from welcome, I'm just going to connect it using this visual action to menu, and I'm going to save this, then go to menu, and I'm going to add a condition in menu. So I'm asking the user what the user wants to do, and I'm going to add a condition based on keywords from the response. So I'm going to say if the user types something about promo or promos or promotions, then I'm going to go to today's promotion. All right. So I'm going to save that. There's an arrow connecting the two steps, and we should be ready to go. So let me publish this workflow and test this out. So I'm going to say type next. What do you want to do today? I want to check out the promotion for today. Today's promotion is a Samsung gaming monitor. Awesome. So that worked great. Let me add another example. So now let's say I want to do a little bit something more complex, and I want to show you the products for a store based on an API. So I'm going to add a description to the step. So it says this step gets products from my store's API. So dynamic content. So basically what I'm going to say here is these are our products. But instead of waiting for the user to write back, I'm going to add a time period of 0 seconds. I just want to keep going. And I'm going to do what we call a web API or an HTTP request. We support all methods, but I'm going to go with get for now. And the JSON API I'm going to get, it comes from this project we found online. It's called Fake Store API. And it gives you data resembling a store. So I'm going to go to the products URL, which gives me this JSON. So even if you're not technical, that's just going to send you structured data about products. So I'm going to get that list of products. I'm going to save it in a variable called products. And then I want to go to another step where I want to show the products in WhatsApp. So let me add that step, save it. And last thing I have to do is, so I'm getting that JSON, that bunch of text we just saw, and I want to print it nicely in WhatsApp. So I'm going to leverage a technology, it's called handlebars. And I'm going to say for each of the products, so the variable we just saved called products, and I'm going to close that syntax, and I'm going to say I want to print the title of the product, and I'm going to print the price. Okay? And let me add a couple of emojis here to separate the lines. Okay, so let me add that. So let me save. Why title and price? Because I know it comes from the API here, title and price. So without writing any piece of code, the only thing I need to connect is the logic to branch to get products if the user types something related to products. So let me add that as an option first. So I'm going to add an emoji and say view products available. And if the user types a condition, so if the user types any keywords containing product or products, then I'm going to go to get products. Okay, so now we're set to test the other part of our demo. And one last thing I want to do before I test this, we have this concept of global actions. So these are rules that apply to every step in a workflow. So let me leverage intent. So these are pre-trained ML models for common intents, and we have a pre-configured list. And I'm going to do for now back, which is basically saying if the user types anything related to back or menu or retry, we want to take the user back to menu. So I'm going to publish that workflow and let's test it out. So I want to go back to menu now. And I now get a different menu and I want to check out the products available. So, wow. So I'm getting now the list of products with the title and the price and that squiggly line based on the API that we just requested from. So really easy to get dynamic content and print it out nicely in our workflow. All right, let's do one final example. So let's do an example of applying for a card. So I'm going to give the user the ability to apply for a card. And let me add that in the menu. And then I'm going to go and create a few steps. So apply for a card. And I'm going to leverage a relatively new feature deployed by WhatsApp, which is called buttons. And I'm going to say apply for a card today as the title. What type of card do you want? And I'm going to add a footer that says it's quick and easy. All right. So the two options are going to be debit card and credit card. Already saved in my browser history. And I can add a third button if I want to. I don't need to now. I don't want to do that now. And then I'm going to send a button. All right. So I'm going to save that and add another step. So after applying for a card, I want to ask for the email. So get email from the user. So I'm going to ask, thanks for applying. Now, or I'm just going to say, can you send me your email to complete your application? All right. So I'm going to ask for an email and let me now connect all the steps. So from menu, if I'm going to add another condition that says, if the user selects card or apply, So apply for card, I'm going to go to the apply for card step. In the apply for card step, I'm going to send a couple of buttons with call to actions. And the first thing I want to do is whatever the user responds on the buttons, I want to save it as a type of card. So either debit card or credit card. And after that, I want to go to the get email step. So I'm going to send buttons, and then I'm going to ask for an email. So I'm going to bold this just to make it more clear. And let's publish and test this out. So I'm going to go back to menu. So I want to apply for card now. And see, now I'm getting buttons in WhatsApp. So apply for a card today. What type of card do you want? It's quick and easy. So actually, fun thing we can do is, can you send me your email to complete your application of and I can leverage this so that it's available variables. So your type of card. All right, so I'm going to save that, publish. Let's test it out again. So I'm going to say, I want to apply for a debit card. Can you send me your email to complete your application of debit card? Cool. So let's do the last thing for this demo. So I want to validate if the user is sending me an actual email. So what I'm going to do is add a regular expression. So by Googling, I found this regex in Stack Overflow that validates an email. So I'm just going to copy and paste. And if it's a valid email, then I want to save the response as user email. Okay. And if that's the case, then I'm going to add a last step that says confirmation, save, and that's a happy path for applying for a card. If the user did not write a valid email, then I'm going to add a new step. I'm going to call it email fallback. I'm going to add the user. I'm going to ask the user to retry. Okay. So I'm going to save that, and let's add the copies for each. So if the email is not valid, I'm going to say, that doesn't look like a valid email. Can you try again? I'm going to do an automatic trigger back to getting an email. Okay. And to retry. And if everything worked out great, I'm just going to say, congrats. You just applied for a new, again, type of card. All right, so let me save this and publish. So we were in this part of the process. So can you send me your email? So if I just add Christian, then that's not going to be a valid email. It says that doesn't look like a valid email. Try again. So if I say christian@yalochat.com, that should be a valid email. Congrats, you just applied for a new credit debit card. So this is Yalo Studio. It's a tool for builders who want to build any type of experience on a chat, on a messaging app. And the great thing about Studio is that we offer all of these visual tools for non-developers to build amazing experiences. And we also offer the ability to, in any step, add the ability to write scripting language, scripting support, so you can build a lot of extensibility and a lot of complexity in every single step of Studio. So there's more to follow on our support of onboarding you to Studio, but I hope this gives you a glimpse of what's possible with this new tool from Yalo. So that covers our demo of Studio for today. I hope this shows you what's possible with this tool and how easy it is to use it. So now let's go to our question section of the day. We're going to be available to answer any questions about anything we covered today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for listening. We're joined today, both Christian and myself, by Javier Mata, founder and CEO of Yalo. And we today will be fielding your questions, and I will be the one asking questions of everybody here. So the first question is for Christian. When can I get Studio, Christian?
Awesome. So great question. So as you can see from the demo, Studio is ready to use as a product. What we would like you to see, get from this event is if you're interested in using it and if you're interested in onboarding, contact your sales representative from Yalo and start planning your onboarding to Studio directly with your sales rep. For onboarding, we have training, we have a program for supporting you and helping you become successful in using Studio. So reach out to your sales rep from Yalo if you're interested in onboarding to Studio, and we're ready to help you get going.
Excellent. Thanks, Christian. The next question is actually in a similar way, so I'm going to ask it to you again. If I already have your bot, does Yalo Studio have an additional cost?
So no, if you're already using Yalo, we are not changing price just because we give you access to Studio. We see it as a value add to have access to this product so that you can do multiple things. One, it's going to be easier to understand your workflow. So if you have questions about how the experience works, you can go into Studio and see how it's built. And as you saw from the demo, it's really clearly organized in the canvas. So it's going to be very easy for you to understand how it works. It's also going to be easy for you to edit copies and understand the logic and make changes if you have the team to do that. So we're seeing Studio as a value add to what you're already getting from Yalo today.
Great. Okay. Now switching gears, a question for you, Javier. If Yalo builds for me, why do I need Studio?
That's a great question. So you're going to have three flavors of Yalo, and we talked about it earlier today that you could use. So if you want to continue using the services of Yalo in order to deploy your workflow and to grow the experience, you're going to have that option. There's also going to be an ecosystem of partners. So if you already have a partner that knows your company super well or that operates inside of your industry in a very good way and want to develop with them, they can be onboarded into Studio and building. And the other one is if you want your team to have complete control and flexibility around what they want, and most importantly, speed, you're also going to have that option of onboarding your own team.
Excellent. And talking about onboarding your own team and the different roles, we have another question for Christian. Which non-technical personas do you have in mind as Studio end users? Are they copywriters, strategists, marketing ops? What would a successful team of users using Studio look like?
Yeah, this is a great question. So what we've seen is non-technical users who are successful in Studio have different skills. So it starts with understanding what you want to accomplish with your workflow. So it all starts with having clarity as to what are the goals that you want to get done with a Yalo workflow. So once you have that clear, and that really starts with having experience with strategy, and so starting there. Then good copywriting is really useful for giving great experiences on chat. So figuring out what's the right copy. Do you ask for the full name or do you ask for the first name and last name? So having experience with good copywriting really helps. And last, you mentioned marketing as an option, and having marketing expertise helps in understanding highly converting experiences. So comes back to the goals, but how do you build an experience that has high conversion for end users via chat? So it really, any non-technical person who really understands strategy, knows how to write good copies, and knows how to optimize for conversion, and Studio is going to allow you to edit that and iterate really quickly. And that's ultimately the goal of giving you Studio, is for you to launch something, be able to monitor, and then quickly iterate. As you saw in the demo, in a matter of minutes building something new, it's really fast to iterate and make changes to improve conversion. So that's the profile we've seen is really any non-technical user who has experience in those areas is going to be really successful in Studio.
Great. And with that, Christian, we have another question from the audience. Can I build workflows on Studio in any language? We have customers all over the world. So what are our regional capabilities?
Yes, that's a good question. So you can build in any language. What's currently takes a little bit more time is we have this really cool tool that we call pre-configured intents, meaning we look at all the workflows we've launched at Yalo, we look at the common intents that all workflows share, and we have data sets to train those common intents. So things like goodbye, things like confirmation, things like I want to speak to an agent, and we train those, we pre-train Studio with data sets for English, Spanish, and Portuguese. If you want other languages, we'd have to get proper data sets to train intents in other languages. So that's for intents. That's really the only limitation for doing other languages. But if you open up Studio, and as you saw in the demo, you open up the message field and you write any other language, Studio will work and it'll be effective. So it will work exactly the same in any language. It's just the pre-configured intents that would take us a little bit of time in getting the proper data set to train this intent, but it's definitely possible.
Great. Thanks, Christian. Now back to you, Javier. If I already have a CRM like Salesforce, how does the Yalo platform compare?
That's a great question. So CRMs and ERPs in general are systems of record, and you store and you save data. What we've seen that companies need, and it's what Yalo is a system of action. So it helps you have and translate and take action on the data that you have and on the systems that you have and get it closer to the customer. Your users already are inside of apps. So the ability to bring the systems that you have spent a lot of time building and put it in the hands of users is what we focus on. So the main, it's complementary. You would have something like Salesforce, or you would have all the other CRM, and Yalo would integrate into it with a system of action to take action on all the data that you have.
Great. Following up on that, Javier, customers asked, in my company, we want to go directly to the consumer. Can you help me with this?
Absolutely. The whole idea of the whole Yalo platform, because right now we're highlighting a piece of the Yalo platform, which is Studio. But the whole Yalo platform around conversational commerce is so that you can bring your entire experience and put it in the hands of end users. So we already work with some of the largest brands in the world that are bringing their direct-to-consumer experiences. Companies like Coca-Cola on the consumer goods, or other retailers that want to have a particular brand and put it there in matter of days, not in matter of months or years. And the Yalo platform is built specifically for that.
Excellent. Next question I will answer. You talked about speed of change. What makes me go faster with Yalo? So Studio has been built to make changes in a visual and intuitive way. As you saw, we have a graphical interface where people can drag and drop, make changes, and build and manage workflows. Most of those changes inside of Yalo at our company are made by non-technical users using this UI. It's the visual nature and additional features like actionable reporting, understanding how your application is performing, templates, quick integrations, and new features that we'll be launching that will make it easier to move faster in building, but also changing your application to drive performance. Next question for Christian. Does Yalo include an interface for a chat center agent?
Yes, so there's two ways to go around building like chat center with Studio. So you can either integrate to your own chat center, and we offer Studio is flexible in that sense, being able to integrate with any chat center you use, or we provide one for you if you don't have one. So again, we keep talking about flexibility with Studio, and this is a great example of it in being able to do whatever works best for your current use case. So if you have one, we can integrate to it. If you don't, we can offer you one.
Great. And in that vein, are there any integrations, Christian, with e-commerce platforms like Shopify, Vtex, etc.?
Yes, so we're currently, Studio as it stands today is really flexible in being able to integrate to any system with the use of APIs and the use of calling Lambdas. So we're able to easily integrate to any system. What we don't yet have is an out-of-the-box integration for the tools you mentioned, Shopify, Vtex. What we want to do with this launch is getting feedback from you in what is the most demanded integration from you, what is the most valuable, and prioritizing those. So that is what's coming next for Studio. It's an investment in making really easy out-of-the-box integrations for things like Shopify, Vtex, and others. And really, we want to listen to your feedback on making good decisions in terms of prioritization on what integrations to do next. So yes, on being able to do it now via APIs and building it directly via Studio, but out of the box is going to come in the next 2 months.
Excellent. Thank you, Christian. Another question coming in for you. How do I figure out if my workflows are not performing? How do I fix it?
Yes. So every time a user interacts with your workflow, you're going to have a log of where the user is navigating in your workflow. And ideally, when you create a new workflow, you have goals in mind, or we sometimes call that as jobs done. Like, what do you want to get done with this workflow? So by being able to see where users are navigating and whether they're getting the job done that you mapped in Studio, are you going to be able to understand, is this workflow being effective? If something's not being effective, you're going to be able to see exactly where they're dropping off. And that's where our best practices are, to look into where they're dropping off, seeing if it's changing copies, whether the flow is too long and you need to take some steps out. So the goal of Studio is to give you the analytics to understand where are users dropping off in the flow, and be able to easily make changes on Studio to iterate and test. And one last thing is, we're making it really easy to build new experiences in Studio and test them out really quickly. So by being able to do that, we'll be able to do A/B testing and iterate on different implementations so you can improve workflows, like you said, that might not be performing to the standard you want.
Great. Thanks, Christian. I have a question which I will answer myself. If I don't want to integrate with any D2C platform, with Yalo, can I create the catalog and integrate it with the payment gateway? The answer is yes. Our platform is built to support conversational commerce applications. So for those customers that want to build commerce experiences, we have native commerce capabilities in the platform that allow you to either integrate or load your catalog and integrate with your payment processors as well, to facilitate powerful commerce experiences. This area of the product is a large area of investment, and we're investing heavily in our commerce capabilities, which we will see in the coming months, announces from our product team. And our mission is to help you make conversational commerce your best performing sales channel. And with that, we have our last question for Javier. Is there going to be a partner type platform to offer the service to different merchants?
Absolutely. So a big part of making Studio available to everyone is creating a large ecosystem of partners. And you can think about partners in two ways. One will be the partners that will help you get set up and accelerate the workflows that you already have or that you want to build inside of your particular industry. So that's one type of partner. You can think about it as system integrators. The other type of partners will be the conversational app creators. So if there is someone that has a lot of experience in healthcare, for example, and they want to build a conversational app geared towards specific telehealth and telemedicine applications within conversational, they can go ahead and create that inside of Studio and then make it available to others inside. So those are the two type of partners. And in the future, we will be putting and giving access to a marketplace where you're going to be getting all these different types of apps to use.
Excellent. Thank you, Javier. And with that, thank you to everybody for coming and joining us today. It's been excellent to show you a little bit about our vision and how we are intending to drive digital transformation through messaging, and how our product team is hard at work to be able to make that reality for our customers. So thank you and have a wonderful day.